forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, it's been an absolutely gorgeous end to our work week. As you can see on our satellite and radar right now, very clear skies, which is going to help drop these temperatures slightly on the cooler side into the 50s throughout the night. And in some areas, we are already at that point. So we're at 58 right now in Paris, also down south in Effingham, 59 in Taylorville, and also 58 there in Springfield. The rest of us are into either the 50s or very low 60s for us. So again, a very chilly night is in store for us, followed by a pretty chilly morning as well. So definitely want to grab those light jackets if you are an early riser. But we do have a little bit of precipitation in this forecast. I'll be tracking those storms coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
You jeopardize people's health when you have large gatherings.
And that's what health officials are worried about over Labor Day weekend, how they want people to help keep others in line. A casino is still in the works for one city, but it hit a snag this week. Catching bison that got loose hasn't been easy, but there's good news in the search.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
We're still in the midst of a pandemic, and large social gatherings are a great way to spread this virus.
As we head into Labor Day weekend, health districts and police will be on alert for people breaking the law, especially when it comes to large parties. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Health departments are encouraging people to report any violations they see. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen has more.
Labor Day weekend, a holiday known for kickbacks and big social parties. While many large public events have been canceled, the Champaign-Urbana Public Health District is concerned people may break the rules during the pandemic.
You jeopardize people's health when you have large gatherings, and the best thing we can do is stay apart from each other as much as possible. And if we are out and about, wear a face covering at all times, indoors or out.
Parties on U of I's campus have resulted in student suspensions and even an order to appear in court. U of I leaders created an online confidential form to report people who violate the university's quarantine order. But CUPHD says there is potential for other people in surrounding cities to host the same type of large gatherings.
If you have a violation of large parties, for example, on campus or off campus, we do have phone number which someone can call to report so we can try to disperse these large parties.
This is a breakdown of who to call depending on where you live in CU. The Vermilion County Health Department leaders are also concerned about the consequences of people hosting these large parties.
It is something we're particularly mindful of now that the schools are trying to reopen, and a few kids who get exposed and end up testing positive can have a huge impact on the people who ride next to them on the bus or their classmates in school.
CUPHD says police will come to break up large gatherings that violate city ordinance.
And if the parties disperse, the problem is taken care of. Now, if we get it repeated, then both the city executive orders have enforcement procedures, as well as we can start to use the Champaign-Urbana Public Health District ordinance to pursue more enforcement steps.
Reporting, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
We have all those numbers you can call to make a report on WCIA.com. As for that order to appear in court, a Champaign teenager was given the citation after police broke up a party. 19-year-old Abdul Rahim Adeyambo was charged with endangering public health and cited for hosting a nuisance party and reckless conduct. That party had more than 10 people who were not social distancing and were not wearing masks. Officials in other counties are giving extra warnings for this weekend as well. The director of the Sangamon County Public Health Department is worried people will relax precautions. That region's positivity rate is slowly dropping after a couple of weeks at the warning level.
I don't think we're used to having people at your home, your backyard, you know, barbecues, friends' houses, and masks, but it's really the only way to ensure you don't expose other people and they don't expose you.
29 counties are at a warning level. Their positivity rate is higher than 8%. That includes Coles, Cumberland, Edgar, Effingham, McLean, and Shelby counties. Effingham is at 14.2%. Champaign and Urbana extended restrictions at campus area bars and restaurants. Indoor dining is banned through September 16th. It coincides with the U of I's stay-at-home directive announced earlier this week after a rise in cases. Cases are up in the state, but that jump is because of a backlog of tests. More than 5,000 positive cases were announced today. There are now more than 245,000. The positivity rate has dropped to 4.1%. 29 more people have died. There are now more than 8,100 COVID-related deaths in Illinois. We have an update to a murder case in Decatur. A man pleaded guilty to the murder of Cody Drew. Charles Gardner was sentenced to 28 years today. Authorities say he stabbed Drew in 2018. Officers say it happened after Drew refused to share part of the $150 he had won while gambling. A man from Rantoul is missing. Police are looking for 62-year-old David Franklin. He was last seen on or around August 19th near Maplewood Plaza. He has medical issues and needs regular medication. If you see him, you should call authorities. The city of Champaign is talking about big changes to its finances. It's trying to close a $5.3 million budget gap. The city has had significant declines in revenue since the pandemic started. The finance director says they'll need to make $5 to $6 million in reductions to meet its financial policies.
What we're going through right now is a process in order to try to reduce that. The city does have healthy reserves that we can rely on. We may not be able to close that full gap in this one fiscal year just because the revenue drop happened so quickly.
Next week, the city will offer some cost-saving options to City Council. We have another update tonight. A new site for the Danville Casino needs zoning approval, but last night it didn't happen. The Planning and Zoning Commission turned it down 5-1, but it can still get approval from City Council members. If zoning is approved, that means the casino could go on Eastgate Drive off of Lynch Road, not far from the original proposed location. But right now, this new proposed site is zoned for industrial use. One park district is jumping a few seasons ahead by they're already preparing for spring. Plus, bison have been on the loose for days in one county. How many still need to be caught? And you can't change a holiday, but you won't be able to celebrate Labor Day like you used to.